There's one phrase that stood out for me: trash to cash. And now we are even beginning to talk about the possibility of exporting it. So how would you, from something as domestic as this, what is in between you and the international market? What initiatives, what creativity can position you from beyond this local to a global stage? That's the innovation we want to talk about. Now, there's a $1 trillion question. I said what? $1 trillion question. So what is the question? What if your small business could supply the world? What if that your small initiative that is beginning locally can take center stage, can take global prominence tomorrow? It's very possible. Now, globally, for Africa, what we are talking about here also, I must quickly also say that we are not only just talking about recycling business, we're also talking about agro product, agro business. So I'm going to be addressing both at the same, with one single presentation. So we're talking about recycle business and agro products, that is agricultural product export, because they come together. Now, for this $1 trillion opportunity, by year 2030, there's going to be this much opportunity in Africa. $1 trillion opportunity coming from recycled products and African agricultural products. Nigeria is only playing with just 0.2% of this massive opportunity I just mentioned. Now, it's unfortunate that the country have kind of prioritized oil over countless other opportunities that would have transformed lives. Now, our gathering here is the beginning of such a thing, that it is for your good to begin to pay attention to something like recycling business and agricultural products. So, innovation is what's going to turn all of these into global opportunities for you. Now, what is the agenda we want to look at today? Agenda of what we're going to be covering. First, we must achieve a mindset shift. There must be a shift. Like the pastor said, shame, for example, is something that must die if you want to harvest all the potentialities in recycling business, for example. So there must be a mindset shift from local survival to global scale. So there must be a mindset shift from local survival to global scale. Now, what is entrepreneurial innovation in expert term? What is it? And then we're going to look at case study of agro-processing innovation. And we'll look at the second case study of recycled plastic export innovation. I'm going to be pretty fast so that we can optimize the time. Then, the fifth thing we are going to have to achieve today, as we are here seated, is the 5-step export readiness innovation framework. Now, for those of you who have found interest in either recycling business or agro product, what can you do to take your initiative beyond Nigeria? We're going to find the time to look at that. Then the sixth thing we should be able to achieve today is, I've been told we're going to have a mentoring session, a pitch session. So in case you have your own business initiative, you will have the opportunity to present it, and you just might find a sponsor today. So, export readiness begins with cognitive innovation. Cognitive innovation is just talking about the mind shift, the changing of your paradigm, your mentality, your approach to this subject matter. Now, what is the traditional thinking? It is a default thinking to think that The moment export is mentioned, you think it's only for the bigger companies, for big people. And that's not true. It's a false assumption to think that export is the exclusive preserve of big companies. You as an individual could become an exporter. Now, innovative thinking is that when your small effort, in addition to another small effort, or a collaborative effort, that is what will make big and formidable impact. So when your little effort, with smart moves, with intelligent and calculated initiative, you will be more productive, you will be more impactful than big companies who are just there celebrating only their bigness and they are not taking any smart initiative. Now, number three mindset shifts that must happen. Number one, problem, the product for the world. What is your product? Can your product become globalized? Then number two, the local waste, like the pastor have established, the local raw materials. It's a local waste, but it's a global raw material. I don't know if I'm too fast for you. I'm trying to optimize the moment. What I'm trying to say is that the first thing is that that waste is a product. It's a raw material for another value chain somewhere. It may be waste around you today, but it is desperately needed somewhere. And what will connect you to where it is needed? How do you connect the waste you are gathering here or your agro product? How does it find a market? And then number three, certifiable quality. Now, anything that will have to go outside Nigeria to be exported must meet certain standards. It must meet some basic standards. And what are those standards? We're going to quickly look at it. So, summarily, what I've said in the past 10 minutes is that although we are talking about waste, we're talking about agro products, we are saying that in this dispensation, in the times that we live now, you are not as local as you think. With the internet connectivity, the entire world is your stage. And how to put yourself in the global map is pretty simple. Now, defining entrepreneurial innovation for export. What is the meaning of this grammar, this title? We have said that we're looking at entrepreneurial innovation. What does it mean, really? Now, innovation here does not mean new invention. That's not what it means. When we say innovation, it does not mean new invention. Not necessarily. But rather, innovation means new value. New value for a buyer. In this regard, that's what we're talking about. We're not saying you have to come up with something that have not pre-existed. No. It is what value you can quickly find to add with what already exists. So there are 4 types of innovation for export. Number 1, product innovation. Number 2, process innovation. Number 3, packaging innovation. And number 4, business model innovation. The first one, for example, cassava turned into starch for farmer product. Locally is cassava. Now, how do you convert it to a raw material that a pharmaceutical company in the UK will order from you here? We're in the tropics where cassava grows easily. So as an agro product, there's a pharmaceutical company in the UK, desperately looking for that raw material, that cassava that we have everywhere here in Africa. How do you convert it to a raw material for that kind of company? Then another innovation. I am taking time to make you understand the innovation in all this conversation. So the innovation is converting that cassava to something valuable for export. Then number 2, process innovation. You can innovate your process. For example, the process of drying those agro products is very crucial. It contributes to their quality. The quality of what you want to export, your processing, the way you process them it impacts the quality of that agro product. For example, if you just say you will dry the cassava under the sun, that may be okay, but the quality of that cassava changes when you use solar panels, for example, solar oven to dry them. It impacts the final product. So if you understand the destination market of your agro product, that will determine the kind of processes you will subject it through. So you don't just do it anyhow, and unfortunately, after you have gone through all the process, the buyer rejects it because one thing or it did not meet some specification, what you very easily could have corrected. So these are the innovation in this subject matter of agro products or our recycling product, how they are processed. Innovation is key there. Then the third element, packaging innovation. You may have done the first two pretty well, but if you don't package it well, it could be rejected. Or it could be undervalued. And to what end? After all the effort, if you do not try to find out innovative way of packaging your recycled product or your agro product. Then number 4th innovation is, what is your business style? What's your business model? Who are your partners? How many handling does your product have to go through for you to get the optimum value? Do you just package it and one off-taker just comes and packs everything and pay you pittance and you think you've done business? Whereas there are massive opportunities in between. Do you take time to study and understand the value chain of whatever it is that you do so that you know where to optimize value? Now, let's quickly see why export readiness fails. In case you've been planning to do some export, why haven't you yet done it? Or the last one you did, why did it fail? Common failures. Let's speak with examples. The European Union sadly rejected somebody's tons of groundnut because the groundnut was found to have what is called aflatoxin. Aflatoxin. Now that aflatoxin occurred in those tons and tons and tons of sacks of groundnut that he has labored to gather to export. And it was rejected for this singular reason, because the drying process was poorly handled. What a painful loss. So you should care, you should be concerned to know all that you have to know before you even start talking about exporting. Then another thing that fails export idea or export initiatives is no traceability. The market abroad that wants to purchase your recycled material or your agro product cannot trace your agro product or your recycled material to nothing. It's just the product. You think because it's the product. No. Confidence is built. Confidence is acquired. People become more comfortable. if they can trace the background of what it is you are shipping to them. If you can give them a peep into the process handling, they are more comfortable. They can plan with you. They can project with you. It's not just only about your product. It's very important that you create some traceability element to it so that trust element is achieved. Number 3, now that you have chosen whatever line of business to pursue, either in agro product or in recycled business, what is the volume? What quantity can you guarantee? Can you confirm? I mean, is there an assurance that this much volume can be delivered, or yours is just a flash in the pan? So ensure consistency, consistent volume or quantity. So this is how to not fail. So summarily on this one, we are saying that innovation solves each failure. Innovation solves it. Pardon? So you have to innovate around whatever is your own challenge to solve it. Okay. The aflatoxin I mentioned earlier, I saw curiosity in the eyes of some of you. Let me just quickly talk about what it is in detail, and we'll just speed through it. It's a chemical compound, like a fungi, that you see on groundnut that is not properly dry. You see. Now imagine tons of it like that before the product arrives whatever is the destination. I mean, what a huge waste it will become because it was improperly dried. So you have to take time to dry it. And why it's important is that we're in the tropics, for example. Now our climate, you can see I'm even sweating here, though this fan is not touching me though, because of the environment that we're in. I mean, so the same thing, it impacts the quality of most finished products. So the climate to which you are exporting this thing to, you have to ensure that either this climate or the destination climate does not paralyze your expectation, the value, does not ruin the value you want to achieve. So be concerned. Do you know that it's wisdom to know what is the atmospheric pressure and temperature of the destination country you want to export something to? And research. Take your time to research how will this product react upon arrival so that you don't lose. This is where many have lost in this business. This is why it seemed like failure. This is why it's not as popular. Many people have come into this thing and got their fingers burnt. Many have suffered losses because they did not care for these small details. This is how not to fail. So it has its own health risk and all that, and this is why countries like European Union, in countries in the European Union will reject such product. May it never happen to you in Jesus' name. Although we are not in church. For example, in 2019 to 2023, over 40 million euro worth of Nigerian groundnut product was lost for this simple thing that we are saying. I mean, can you compare the effort, the hectares that was cultivated, the groundnut was planted, the effort of harvesting it, processing it, and packaging it, just because they did not pay extra attention to dry it properly? All of that was just wasted. What is the equivalent of 40 million euro in naira? I'm not speculating. I'm telling you real life experience. This is a true life experience. What is the equivalent in naira? Lost. Okay. Now, the innovation that these people could have done is simple. They could have used solar drying panels other than just spreading the groundnuts open in the open atmosphere. They could have used solar panel. They are designed solar panel that helps anything you want to dry properly, super dry, that it will not generate any fungus. It's cheaper than the loss that they suffered now, if they had bothered to know that this was possible. And then again, another thing is to buy moisture sensors. They are just small things like this microphone on my chest. You just put it inside group of sack. It can detect moisture. These are simple innovations that will avert big, heartbreaking losses. And then the sorting, if it's recycled, if yours is the recycled product, the sorting, there are some things that have to be properly sorted. The white, sometimes the white should not be with the blue if it's plastic, depending on where you are shipping it to. You know, you pay close attention to do all this sorting. And ultimately, all these things will add value. To add value to your pricing. So because of time, I'm going to speed through because there are lots of other speakers. And let's look at a case study one, agro-processing innovation, cassava to global starch. Now, for example, I don't know if you are seeing that slide though. If you want to export cassava in Ghana, must go back. That is already guaranteed to fail. Either the dried cassava itself or the powdery form, you have just thrown away nearly 65% of the value of it. Because by the time these things sit in container on the high sea and all of that, they're exposed to a lot of things. Now, just right beneath it is a cheaper way, although it might cost you a little bit more than the Ghana must go back, but look at the destination country where you are shipping whatever it is you want to ship to. And just pay a little more extra. It will come back to you, you will regain it. In fact, when the buyer even sees it this way, he will pay you more for it. Now, if you want to export 250 naira per kg to European Union, for example, to European Union, this is 1.2 euro per kg. That's the equivalent. So you will know the profit you want to make from here when you take the right decision and you act smartly. Now, if it's plastic, you want to recycle, the same thing. You have to figure out smart ways to do it. So let's just speed through. I've been notified that I've got a few more minutes. Now, I have a list of, I think I'm willing to share this slide. I'll give it to the organizers. You can go through it there. There's a lot of beneficial information for you to gain from. There are some apps that will cost you nothing that you can use to innovate either your agro business or your recycling business. Some things that will teach you how to add value. One example is export market research. It's an app that will help you locate lots of opportunity. There's also certification guide. It will be in the slide that I'll give to them. You get it from them. There's also logistics estimators. You can sit down in your room and estimate what it will cost you to move your product to wherever you want to move it to. You can estimate your profit. You can know the likely price the buyer will pay. You can determine all of this. You can speculate all these things. It's not an assumption. You don't walk in the dark. There's even another one called buyer discovery. For example, Alibaba, Afri Exporter, even LinkedIn, even on LinkedIn, it will blow your mind how much opportunities sit in your LinkedIn. And all these things are on your phone. It's unfortunate that TikTok and every other app have distracted us from a lot of wealth-making opportunities that our smartphone can do for us. Now, remember, we said something about mind shift. It is not true that you need millions to do your export business. It's not true. Yes, you may ship in 20-foot container, but it doesn't have to be only you. A lot of people with common interests can come together and fill that one 20-foot container and still ship. So, how do you find people of like mind like you? There are communities, there are platforms, there are places to find people of like minds like you, and you can collaborate and achieve a lot together. Now, to think that government will help, here we are. How much of help of government do we enjoy? Even electricity. Do you know that? Oh my goodness gracious. Electricity alone is one awesome platform from where this government, the government of this country, can infuse value into small and medium scale business enterprises. What is hard in taking, you can commission a research company to take database of all these small and medium scale industries that create jobs, that recruit people, and subsidize their electricity by 75%. Don't hand anybody cash. Electricity erodes nearly 80% of the margin. For example, people that do cold water business or that sell that hawking business, for example. How can a man, one single man, be taking 20 million naira in a month to go and pay electricity bill? What is left for him? I met a man recently in Ibadan. He has a hawking hub. NEPA brought him 20 million naira electricity bill for 1 month because he's in band A. So, how much profit can come from hawking business? If 20 million naira of your capital will go for electricity, that is the beginning of the end of the business. There's a lot we could have talked about, but that's fine. You will get the slide from the convener. But summarily, all this grammar we have been speaking so far is that, like the pastor said, if you will it, if there's the will, there will be the way. Don't be intimidated by the size or whatever it is. Just start, and every other thing will fall in line, and we will gather to celebrate your success in Jesus' name. Thank you for your time.